The future isn't something we wait for, it's something we build. Welcome to Building Tomorrow with Fatima Bokar, where bold ideas meet real solutions. From innovation to leadership, economics to sustainability, we bring together visionaries, change makers, and experts that drive the conversation that shape Nigeria's future. Are you ready to think big, act smart, and be part of something greater? Join the movement. Subscribe, watch, and let's build tomorrow today. Hello and welcome to another powerful episode on Building Tomorrow. I am Fatima Bokar. Building Tomorrow is a platform dedicated to sparking impactful conversations and exploring practical solutions to the challenges in our society. It's about equipping individuals with the knowledge, inspiring action, and driving meaningful change through insightful conversations, expert perspectives, and real-life solutions. We're going on a short break, but people say that money doesn't grow on trees. But what if the key to building a wealthier future is planting them? Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Building Tomorrow, a show where ideas meet action to inspire change and shape the future. Today we're exploring how deforestation and climate innovation can drive economic growth and sustainability. Joining us is the one and only Dr. Ibrahim Dooba.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to have you, and we're going to dive right in. So, Dr. Ibrahim Dooba, it's such a pleasure to have you here today.
It's my pleasure, it's mine.
I know you're into deforestation and all climate innovation, and also the CEO of 200 million trees, right? So why is deforestation such a critical issue in Nigeria and globally?
Well, globally it's a problem. That's why everybody's talking about it. And globally, if we lose 40% of our forest cover, we will have reached a point of no return where we'll be having natural disasters every day. Drought today, thunderstorms tomorrow, flooding the day after. And there is nothing we can do to change anything, nothing to mitigate. That is why over 90% of climate scientists have said we must do something before we reach that level. Yeah, if we lose 40% of forest cover, or if the temperature increases by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius. So, however, in Nigeria now, we've lost over 60% of forest cover, which means that if the world is coming to an end, who will die first in Nigeria? Indeed, Africa will die first, because out of the 20 most adversely impacted countries in the world, out of 20, 16 of them are African countries, right? That is why everybody is concerned, especially about the case of Africa, because Africa contributes very little to carbon emission. Actually, it's 3%. Our contribution to carbon emission. The developed countries and other places are the ones polluting the environment, and we are the ones suffering for it. So it is very urgent that we do reforestation to recover the lost forest cover that we've suffered in Nigeria. And what we do at 200 million trees is to plant one tree for every Nigerian, so that to solve the problem. However, as we are solving that problem of climate change, we also want to solve other social problems like nutrition, economic problems, getting money for our people, even security problems like farmer harder crisis.
Yeah, we get into that.
Yeah.
So, what inspired you to focus on reforestation and climate innovation, actually?
Yeah, because that is what I can do, and
Okay.
because it aligns with Islam. In Islam, when you die, three things count in your favor. That's they continue to count in your favor. And when I clocked 40, I asked myself, I said, what have you done? What's your legacy? So I decided to go back to the hadith that says, when you die, three things will be,
Ongoing charity.
yes, the ongoing charity as Sadaqah to Jariyah, a capital project, like building a mosque, building schools, digging a well, planting trees too. That's also a capital project.
Sure.
I said, okay, I will take this,
That one.
planting trees as my capital project. The second one is knowledge that benefits others. So I said, okay, I'm a writer, I'll continue to write, right?
Yes.
So that my knowledge will benefit others. And the third one, the children that will pray for you, right? I have three children. I said, okay, I will marry more wives so that I'll have more children. You know? For children, there is no guarantee. But for trees, there is a guarantee. Because even if you plant a tree and people steal from it, you will be rewarded. That's what the prophet said. So that's been my inspiration. And I think I've found something that I will do for the rest of my life. Sometimes my friends outside Nigeria, when I talk like this, they get inspired. I've already found what I will do for the rest of my life. So that inspires them. And this is something I can do for free. So if I get paid doing it, it's a bonus.
I think what you should do is go over to the northeast, to my place, Maiduguri, and do something like this. Because the last time I was in Maiduguri, during the flood, I went to a community where the government took them there after the flood. And when I went there was no single tree there. And it was really disturbing. I was asking the old woman that, what do you guys always sit inside this room without coming out? She was like, we don't have any choice. Like, no, this is not good. They need to have trees all over that place, which we can definitely help them, because it's not healthy for them to just sit inside.
And trees are cheap to plant, cheaper than other solutions. In fact, in climate science, there are some technologies that will sequester carbon from the atmosphere faster and more efficiently than trees. But trees are cheaper.
Yes, they
yeah. So, but I have friends planting in Maiduguri, like Rahma. Rahma, although a female name is a man, Rahma Mangono. Yeah. And also there is Askirawa. Is in the town of Askira. I've donated trees to his project. He was able to bring together the traditional rulers and everybody, and they planted trees together.
Beautiful.
But we can do more.
Yeah, I think we should do that. Yeah, that would be really nice. Many people see trees as just nature, right? But how do they directly impact our economy and daily lives?
Okay, now here's what I will talk about what will interest a lot of people.
Sure.
Well, let me quickly get the science out of the way,
Okay.
Yeah, the science is that through photosynthesis, as the sunlight gives the tree energy, and with that energy, the tree breaks apart the carbon dioxide that's circulating in the atmosphere. It breaks it apart into two. and into oxygen and carbon. So it ingests the carbon into its roots, into the leaves, into the barks, etc., and then releases the oxygen for our benefit. That's why they are called oxygen factories. And that's why wherever you have trees, you have fresher air, and the air is purer. Yes. So that is what is called carbon sequestration. When you plant trees, since we have an abundance of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, they do this to be able to ingest this to give us cleaner air. Now, I will take, how do we make money while planting trees? I will take each tree one after the other, you know. For example, which tree will you plant and make you a millionaire the fastest? Which tree gives you almost every nutrient required by a human being? Which tree is in short supply all over the world, you know? And which tree gives, when you plant them and you feed to your cattle, will increase their weight gain by 1 kilo every day, you know? So let's start with papaya.
Okay.
Papaya, guanda, pawpaw, right?
Yes.
So if you plant papaya, it will start fruiting within 4 months.
Okay.
You can start harvesting in 7 to 8 months. And each tree can give you 40,000 naira, right? If you have 10 of that, that's 400,000 naira. If you have 100 of such trees, you have 4 million. Indeed, my friend who is used to be my colleague when we were in government, and I planted some papayas for him. So one day he said, let me try to sell this papaya. And one of the fruit sellers, the vendors on the streets, came and he bought 12 from him at the rate of 24,000 naira. So each papaya was 2,000 naira. And on a tree, you can have up to 50. But let's say he has 20 on the tree. That's 40,000 naira. So using this estimate, because this is a wholesale price, the guy that bought from him is also going to resell that.
Sure.
You understand? So if we use this estimate, very quickly someone can become a millionaire in less than a year, actually in 7 to 8 months, right? And then papaya, you don't only benefit from the fruits, you benefit from the leaves. You go to eBay, other website, they sell the powder. You dry the leaves.
Interesting.
And you turn it into powder and you sell. Also, I have a lot of friends who are medical doctors. One of them, Dr. Anatus, told me that they use papaya as a substitute for another thing that's more expensive in the hospital. Yeah, she said that, a radiologist. Then you can use it for things like arthritis. You can use it to feed your fish. I do use it to supplement my fish to boost their growth. A friend told me that his arthritis was acting up, and he was in the presence of our governor, and the governor told him that don't waste your time. He instructed the people there to go and get papaya leaves. Yes, the papaya leaves from the compound, and the governor instructed that they blend it for him, and he drank it, and he got a relief. So if you go to my friend's place now, on his farm, even in his house, you see papaya is planted, which is helping his arthritis. That is papaya only. There are so many trees like that. Let's take cashew, for example. Cashew is in short supply all over the world. Cashew production globally is 720,000 tons. that is less than 1 million. It's very difficult to find a cash crop that will say globally the production is less than 1 million. Let's compare with soybeans. Soybeans in Nigeria alone produces 5 million tons. Brazil produces 150 million tons. But globally, cashew is in short supply. It's less than 1 million. India is leading by it's producing about less than 200,000 tons. So in Nigeria, because we have the land, we can do far better. I was talking to Niger because the governor wants to plant trees, and I said we can overtake Niger alone, not Nigeria. Niger alone can overtake the production of India, and Nigeria will become the biggest producers of cashew nuts. Yeah, and there are some varieties that when you plant, because what is favored is the nuts, right? If you plant them, the nuts from Brazilian cashew, it's about 3 times the local variety. So you plant that, and on 1 hectare you get 1 ton. And 1 ton of cashew now, the last time I asked the cashew leadership, the association in Nigeria, they said they don't have the good quality. But that quality they were selling at that time was 3 million naira. So you have 100 tons of that. That's 300 million.
Wow. It seems like this year is going to be my year.
Yeah. so that's cashew. Then we have what? Okay, let me add what everybody knows, like. What is it called? Moringa. Moringa. In Arewa, almost every house has moringa. Moringa is the plant that has almost all the nutrition that a human being needs.
Moringa in a house are called zogale.
Zogale, yes. If you eat that, it has protein, it has all the stress element, it has almost everything that you need. Even though we've underrated it and we don't use it as much as we should we should. Myself, my wife used to buy moringa tea from the market, and that was what I drank exclusively. But then when I started planting trees, we have many moringa trees in the house, and she stopped. You understand? I said, this is what we buy, and it was usually imported from Nepal and other places in Asia. Now that we have it, we can go for a week without taking the moringa, even though it's very, very helpful to us. So, actually, there was a time that the development partners came to West Africa to stop stunted growth of our babies. And when they came with moringa. But then they met moringa in West Africa. And they say, if you have the solution, why are your babies suffering from stunted growth? So they realized that people were not preparing it properly. So the new knowledge they came with was the preparation, because when they prepare, obviously they will throw away the water, the juice from the leaves. And that's where the food is, the nutrient is. So we have this in our backyard. In fact, everybody should be able to plant moringa.
Yes, even if they don't have it.
If you don't have it, you should, because you can also sell it. You can use it as fertilizer. If you cut moringa and you grind it, you put it in a machine and you grind it, the resulting whatever you have, waste you have, is equivalent to cow dung in fertilizer in yield for your plants. Yes, this has been done. There's an American scientist did this in Kenya. So the benefit to the plant is equivalent to cow dung, but it's better than cow dung, because for cow dung you have to wait at least 6 months for it to decompose before you give to your plant. If you give to your plant when it is fresh, it will kill your plant, right? But for moringa, you can just give fresh like that, because we have 2 types of manure. There is the manure that's called hot manure, and there's cold manure. Cow dung and chicken droppings, hot manure. You collect waste from the chicken now, you don't give to your plants directly. There are some plants that will survive it, like maize, but many plants will die, right? So you allow them to decompose. But then we have cold manure. Cold manure, even when fresh, you can give to your plant. And the only example I always give for cold manure factory is the rabbits.
Okay.
Indeed, not only it produces cold manure, its manure is 5 times better than cow dung and 3 times better than chicken droppings. So people sometimes make a lot of mistakes when planting. They will plant a tree and they'll say, manure is good now, it's natural. They will just dump it on the tree, then the tree will die and say, what happened, So there is, whatever one does, there is always the right way to do it. Yeah. So should I continue with the trees?
We're going on a short break, and we'll be back shortly to continue this important discussion on the green gold. Stay tuned. To Building Tomorrow, a show where ideas meet action to inspire change and shape the future. So we're going to dive right into this important discussion we were in before we went on a break on the green gold. Welcome back, Dr. Dooba.
Pleasure.
Dr. Dooba, so what role do trees play in tackling food insecurity and improving agriculture?
Yeah. Well, you see, we get food from cereals and vegetable and other things, right?
Yes.
But we don't get all the things we need. We need to eat fruits too, because fruits will give us the vitamins and the other things. So, like I mentioned, the case of moringa, zogale, it gives you almost everything, and it's a tree. It's very difficult to find a cereal like maybe rice that will give you everything, or corn or whatever. So fruits, their leaves, their fruits, and other things, they supplement what we get from other sources. To the extent that if you don't supplement with trees or fruit-bearing trees, we are going to suffer in our growth. We may we get some things in excess, and we get zero and other things. So fruits, trees help a lot in feeding us, human beings directly, and also feeding animals that will feed us. For example, if you incorporate the branches of moringa into your animal feed, it will increase the feed. It will contribute 12% of protein into the feed, right? But if you take the younger leaves at the top and you add that, then the contribution of protein will increase to over 20%. So you see, that way it's feeding, the trees are feeding our animals, then we get nutrition from the animals through milk or beef. So that is the role trees play in nutrition. And also, besides that, trees can be used as pioneer plants. Yeah, Lucina. In Australia they call it Lucena, or the rest part of the world they call it Lucina. That's what we are planting now. We intend to plant millions and millions of that. What it does is that if you plant it, it is drought tolerant. So if it gets one rainy season, then it will stay there for decades.
Wow.
Even at a place that the soil is so bad, right? So it amends the soil. Because it's able to survive, then you can bring another plant and plant there. You understand? Indeed, if you plant it in what is called, in agroforestry, they call it alley cropping. If you line the lucina trees like this, and another row like this, and in between the rows of the trees, you plant your maize, it's going to improve the yield of that maize. This is done. This is a research done in Nigeria for I think more than 50 years now. In the 70s and 80s, where the Oyibos will come to Nigeria and they will experiment with these solutions. So we have solutions to this crisis, poor soil, but we are not. We've thrown them away. So if you plant this,
Okay.
you'll be able to amend your soil, and from that soil, you'll be able to grow other things that we need to eat. Also, besides maize, if you stake the tree, that's lucina tree, as a stake for your yam. You know when we plant mounds of yam, we put a stick where the yam vine will follow, right?
Yeah.
So instead of putting the stick there, you plant this tree. Because it's a legume and it fixes nitrogen in the soil, it improves the yield of that yam. And where you usually get maybe a few tons, you get from 13 to 15 tons per hectare. This has been documented, it's been practiced. Right? So we want to bring this knowledge back to our people. So to answer your question again, what role do trees play in the nutrition in our food system? Directly we can eat them, and they also help to regenerate our soil, to amend our soil.
Okay. I know you know of a lot of investments, right? That our entrepreneurs can actually invest. So, are there any investment opportunities in reforestation for individuals and businesses?
Well, for individuals, well,
Like myself.
usually we have people who have the money, they don't know where to invest.
Sure, of course.
So usually when I talk about the money in planting trees, a lot of people contact me. We want to revive our farm. How do you do? Can you consult for us? And even 2 days ago, I got a call from one of I don't want to mention names, but if you count 1, 2, 3, 5, in Nigeria it's top 5. So he also wants to do this, and so individually, if you bring good proposal like this, people, if you don't have the money, if you are going to manage, people will invest. But internationally, there are organizations that give grants, even fellowships to people who are in the climate space, because of course it's a big problem, and they know Africa suffers more than others, and so sometimes they target Africans. So that is indeed when some people are entering the space, not because they are driven to solve problem, but because they see there's a lot of money in it, right? When I talk to my people, they say, there's a lot of money in this thing. Why don't you access that grant? Why don't you do this? Why don't you? So there's a lot of investment. But sometimes the investment is not limited to trees only. Sometimes it's about the substitute. For example, we say people should not cut down trees as firewood, right?
Yes.
So people target some solutions to to substitute, like briquette making. And you can make briquettes very quickly. You just need a binder. The papers can be, waste papers can be binders, and or flour from the kitchen, right? Then you need farm waste, which you can grind. And then you combine with the binder, and you have your briquette. So there's a lot of investment in the space. Even in road construction now, if you add biochar. What is biochar? Something that you get from maybe farm waste now, like the rice straws or the stalks of maize, and you burn them. You burn them using pyrolysis. Pyrolysis is a method of combustion without oxygen. That is, you remove air and burn the material so that it doesn't turn into ashes. So it becomes black. So that black material, if you mix with bitumen and you tie your road, you get stronger roads, especially in places where we have too much heat, like Nigeria. So they make our roads better. And we are working with actually some construction company to integrate this. So these are the kind of funds, yes, investment you have in the space. But the one that excites me more is planting the trees that will help our people, that will give medicine to our people. For example, soursop. Soursop is so in demand around the world now that you can sell the leaves, right?
Okay.
So if I sell a soursop seedling to you today, tomorrow you can start making money from soursop seedling, because you just remove the leaves and you count them. If you sell on eBay, 100 leaves is $10, $10 to $15. 100 leaves.
$10.
Yes, and the 100 leaves you can get that from one tree.
Wow.
In fact,
Wow.
then if you have 10 trees, that is $100. If you have 1,000 trees, that's $1,000.
Is it easy to plant it?
Yes, it is. I planted it in Mina before coming here.
Oh.
Yeah, just you give it water maybe once a day. If it's well mulched, you can even give it water once a week.
Does it have health benefits?
Yes, it's that is why people are looking for it. I have readers who have told me that it helps with their cancer, you know. And I know a cancer survivor, Adama, who told me that soursop was the key in curing her from cancer.
Wow.
And then for men, it helps with prostate problems. Indeed, there was a man who said he had prostate problem. They said they wanted to operate, and he said no, they couldn't. He was afraid. So he was wearing adult nappy, you know. And then until someone told him that, have you used this smoothie from soursop? He said no. He said, okay, you should do. And he said when they got him soursop and he started eating the smoothie, in a very short time his problem disappeared. But you don't even have to wait for the tree to grow and start producing fruits. You take the tea from the leaves, soursop leaves. That's what I do. Almost every day I dry the leaves and I take the tea. My wife's BP has gone.
Oh.
No, has disappeared.
Oh.
Because she takes soursop leaves. Yes. So there's so much it does. Yeah, so much benefit. So those are the kind of trees that I'm focusing on. And I tell my people, I said, do not plant ornamental trees.
Okay.
Plant fruit-bearing trees. Why? Because you are looking for beauty from the ornamental trees. Fruit trees will give you the beauty. Then they will give you food. then they will give you medicine, then they will give you shed. So what do you?
What
What else do you need, right?
So how many plants now are you more focused on? Like there's soursop and then
we have like 25 different varieties of trees. Yeah, all fruit bearing. Why do we have that? Is because we have different models of planting. That's what is called food forest. We can come to your house if you can afford, and we plant over 20 different varieties of fruit trees for you. And when we plant them, after 1 to 2 years, every day of the year, you come to that house, you have something to eat. So you can give to your family, you give to your guests every day. Yes. If the mango is not done, the oranges will be done. If the orange is not done, the papaya will be there, or the guava, or man, yeah, pomegranate. So like that. My house used to be like that. Yes.
So does deforestation contribute to reducing conflict, especially in regions affected in desertification?
Yes, okay. Recently I wrote an article about the case of your Lake Chad. Lake Chad in the 60s used to feed about 20 million people across 4 countries. I call them NCC, Nigeria, Niger, Chad, Cameroon.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yes, these 4 countries were taking their sustenance from Lake Chad through fishing, irrigation, and animals, But it was mismanaged, right? So that it shrunk. It used to be about 26,000 square kilometers, right? But now it's less than 10% of that. It's less than 2,000 square kilometers. So because of that, we have so much conflicts in the area. The people became very desperate, and there was the introduction of highway robbery. There was banditry, and of course the youth of that area became ready. They formed the ready pool from which Boko Haram recruited members. So, and that is because of the mismanagement of this natural resource and also climate change. Because now you don't see trees there. So if you are able to plant the trees help in keeping groundwater in the ground, right? Because they form a kind of sieve. When the rainwater is coming, they retain the water in the soil, right?
Yes.
And when flood is coming, they become barriers to flood, right? However, if you have a very a deserted area, when the water comes, it will just run off. It will run into buildings, and that is why rainforests are called rainforests, because not only do they stabilize rainfall, they also mitigate flooding, right? So if we do reforestation, we will have improved our soil where people can plant in abundance. Then we will not be so restricted where people compete for resources. For example, the Fulani or the herders leave the north and they go southward. When? During the dry season. Why? Because the south is a rainforest. The vegetation there is evergreen. And on their way, because we used to have cattle routes, right? Where they can go unimpeded. But now, because of competition for resources and development, the cattle routes have disappeared. So when they go, they encounter farmlands.
Okay.
And the animals eat from the farmlands and clashes ensue. So how we are trying to solve that problem now is to plant these forage trees in the north, so they don't need to go to the south. We are partnering with Ardos, we are partnering with emirs, and they are very receptive of this idea, because
it's very important.
yes, this tree, take Lucina. Lucina will increase weight gain by 1 kilo every day, and it will also increase milk production by up to 20%. And this is not theoretical, it's practice. We've seen it. Other countries in the world, like Australia, it is their secret in beef production. They can fatten a cattle, a cow, or a bull from year 0 to 1.5 years, and it will be big enough to sell. So that is what we are trying to do here in Nigeria. If we do this, it will reduce the clashes, it will reduce the crisis, and people will have nutrition in abundance.
So, Dr. Dooba, what's your vision for Nigeria's forests and green economy in the next 10 years?
Well, in the next 10 years, actually, it's a good question. In the next 10 years, we'll have planted 200 million trees. Actually, it's a 10-year project. Yeah. And also, what I want Nigeria to do, and the vice president of the country is eager in leading this, is to overtake or break the record of Ethiopia. Ethiopia planted 560 million trees in 24 hours in one day. Right?
Wow.
Where the Prime Minister and his government mobilized over 30 million Ethiopians, and they planted this tree. Ethiopia is the second largest country in population. So we are twice their population.
Exactly.
And so why
and we
can't
can implement something like this
yes,
even better.
yes, we can. So I told the vice president he has a background in agriculture. He studied agricultural economics, I think, and he wants to do it. I said, let's do this. Let's start preparing now, so that in the next 2 years we'll have these nurseries all over our campuses in Nigeria and each local government.
Sure.
And we have 774 local government. Each local government plants a nursery of 1 million trees. That is almost 800 trees, right? We have over 200 universities now. Then we have 350 polytechnics and colleges of education. So the ones with the land should be given 1 million seedlings. And this can be done because myself, in the last 4 months, I've given close to 1 million seeds for our beneficiary to plant. So once these nurseries are established,
Sure.
then we just, on a particular day, we synchronize, everybody will plant where in the designated places, and we'll have broken that record. And that record will not just be for the sake of breaking record. We'll have done other things too. For example, like the cashew that I said we can overtake
sure,
India.
Sure.
We'll have planted enough of Lucina for animals to eat, and so many things like that.
Wow, I'm very sure this is doable, and I have confidence in the Vice President that he'll actually take heed to this and do the needful, God willing. So, what's one message you would like every Nigerian to take away from this important discussion?
Yeah, my message is this: everybody should plant trees according to the number of years you spent in the world, the number of birthdays you've had. If you are 45, plant 45 trees. If you are 20, plant 20 trees. And if you cannot do that, at least plant one tree. And if you can't plant trees for the environment or for your hereafter, plant it for yourself because it's going to help you. Plant papaya that will give you fruits in 8 months, or plant soursop that you can make money from selling the leaves, right? And it will also help you with your BP, with your prostate and other things like that. But plant something. If you can't plant fruit tree, plant any tree. It's better than nothing.
Sure.
Yes, that's my message. Yeah.
That's it for today on Building Tomorrow. The future is green and the time to act is now. So let's plant, innovate, and create a wealthier tomorrow. Thank you so much, Dr. Dooba, for sharing your insights, and to our audience for joining us. Until next time, see you on Building Tomorrow.